guest just letting us know it was a strange sort of case. I'm not sure what happened. We've just restarted the stream, seeing if that fixes it. And round one has just played out. It could half be seen on stream. It ended with, I believe, 2 members of that defensive side alive. The side of Pulse just couldn't really breach that site properly, despite being given a lot of freedom. There was no roam coming out from minions at all, but Pulse, they just hesitated a bit too long, and when it came to the execute, the guns of minions just won out. So now minions going up to this gym bedroom side even. Another one of those sort of statistically strong sites for the defense. It's usually that secondary pick, and we're going to be seeing minions here hoping to put another round on the board. This time we are seeing that familiar Warden coming out to play. Didn't see them last round at that. Combined with Muds on the Thorn, who got 2 kills last round, so immediately that new scope sort of putting in the work, maybe giving that operator a little bit more strength in the fragging department, and we'll have to see if that just keeps on rolling, especially now with the Warden in play as well.
Absolutely, and I just have to say, I think from the playstyle or the positions and also the operator picks from minions last round, I think they just was waiting or thinking of a push happening from Pulse to just thinking of Pulse making a sign into the first round. That didn't happen, but they got so much space and Pulse just didn't pull it off properly. They had so much space, they got kitchen like free, or also as well the bar was completely open for them. But then when it came to the dropping moment, when it came through the key positions, they really didn't get their side on the opponents and get those kills. That's very, very, very poor execution, I think, from Pulse here.
Yeah, and it's going to potentially get even worse for Pulse, because now they are having to deal with this roam. We see Diz on this Warden just playing spoiler here throughout CC and Cash. A lot of utility is going to have to be invested to really deal with him. AJ marching up those rafters, and eventually they actually get hoverboard the mute. I'm not sure where he died, potentially in sight just through a window. Nevertheless, there is still a defender causing a lot of troubles here as Diz gets one to AJ, still just holding his ground here, and that's what he really needs to do, waste as much time as possible. And he's in a fairly safe angle as well, cover from his teammate. The nade sings, but doesn't actually get him. It's Schnitzy on that AK, taking him down and putting Pulse in that man advantage.
And now we have the advantage here from Pulse. Now getting ground good here by Sledge and his company on with Schnitz. Roaming into the cache, taking in breaching through onto workshop. We have Mira in logistics after or behind her window. Also closing in as prison, closing down the angle onto bedroom window. Oh, that's a cheeky pixel peek. And he gets him down through the shield. That's greatly done. Prison down, prison out. So double advantage in manpower for Team Pulse.
Yeah, and honestly,
strong competition.
I thought Muds would get a kill because he was holding a very cheeky angle there, but it was the attack ending up winning those fights of those very sort of devious pixel angles there. It's all really on Alex here. If he can get a couple kills stopping this play, stopping this hatch drop, it could be huge. Flash whiffs. Gunfight is, however, missed by Alex as Beans takes him down. 4 versus 1, and Pulse look to equalize. They do. Benzino just getting that final kill throughout that window, taking a bit of fire with the melee, but responding. And, well, we're all tied up already, 1-1.
1-1, and with a very wild response here from Pulse. I really didn't see the way this round was going because the gunfights were just equalizing, happening from both of the sides of the map from the spot on. And I didn't really see any type of advantage for neither Pulse or minions, but the round just kept on ticking, and then Pulse just went in, had this, I want to say, a very lucky angle beneath the shield there on prison. Got them double advantage, and then you had the intel where Alex was standing, and you just had to commit and hunt him down, hunt him out, and that went really well for Pulse here. So I think it was a very deserved equalizing point here.
Yeah, minions though, not too deterred. They're going straight back here. They seem to have learned their mistakes. It seemed like the windows caused quite a bit of trouble for the defense last time, so maybe playing with a little bit more discipline could really help them out here, get them into that sort of advantage situation early, just not giving away that opening pick. We're likely still going to be seeing a roam as well, though no Warden this time, so potentially the fragging capabilities of this roster just a little bit muted. Being said, we are still having an extension over to that CC side, even with a mute jammer as well, just adding more utility for the attack to push through here. Really just aiming to soak a lot of that sort of time away, make it really a real commitment to get that map control, as Muds potentially just feeling a little bit of a cheeky spawn peek here. Just open that front door, got that 1.5 in hand, just on the default cam, waiting for whatever kind of cue he's looking for to really just run out and cause a bit of damage here.
Yes, there we have Manny down in lobby, trying for the spawn peek. Penzinho got the intel. Can't get any hits through on Manny. Manny just rotating back into bar, getting into the safe spot.
No damage exchange there, so it's nothing detrimental to the defensive side. And even then, he's not deterred. He's still going for it. A questionable choice, but Penzinho has left, so there's no one to really damage anyone there. I doubt there's going to be any gunfights really exchanged, because instead, the attacker coming through this stock area, instead Beans just droning out the bar. Luckily for Muds, he's escaped now, going towards those main stairs. As Lightsy, he's beginning his vertical work, although it doesn't seem like there's any intel at all. It's just a blind nade. Util wasted there, as the Mute's not even playing in cash.
That's poor drone work, I think. I think the Mute was called into cash at the F3C, and we is top red on eastern stairs. Looking through the drone hole. Might he get an angle on this ace? No, he doesn't at the first moment. But Schnitzy going, committing in, holding, getting down this spree for this opening frag in round 3.
Penzinho losing a fight there. He really shouldn't have, and that's given Prison the opportunity to really pounce here. He retakes cash. Breach is open, which actually helps him here. He can hold more angles, more jump-ins, and it's really caused chaos to the attack. Hoverboard gets another, and AJ now having to push into server here, potentially try and get cash control on his own. He's got those line charges remaining here. He's got support as well. But they still have to win a heads-up gunfight, and Prison just takes him down easily. 2 versus 4 now, as minions are really starting to get into the driving seat here.
And now we have Schnitzy trying to play against Prison, and Prison picks up his triple kill for this round. Only Beans left here for Team Pulse, going through the beach on pool-sided. Breach open, but the intel is definitely there for the defenders. 4-on-1 against Beans. Beans get the first one, gets hoverboard. Shorts down to 1 against 3. Has to pick up a real lot of damage right there. Re-rotating over, and Prison waiting for him. Prison is itching its fingers for this quad kill.
Yeah, it's looking to be a save, though. I don't think Beans is really going to attempt it, and if he does, it's going to be the very last second. I imagine Team Pulse just going to use this time to really talk over what went wrong there. The Thermite, yeah, clearly making no attempts to clutch this. He realizes it's unwinnable. May as well make the most of this time. Try and maybe get a couple entry frags, pad your stats, but Prison does finally secure that kill. And what a performance from the Wamai that round, really taking the initiative, taking that ground that was seized by the attack, and that really led to just a very good response from minions there.
Yeah, what a great take. I just lost my image here. So Prism picked up his quad kill for that round. Amazingly played by the retake, though, from Workshop into cash was very big, very hugely done there from Prison. And I think that deserves some credits. Nearly because of the reason that he was pinged. The intel where he was standing was there, but the commitment really was missing from the player from Pulse that went on to engage that situation. And that's kind of, after my opinion, the fact that kind of turned around the round against Pulse and made it so easily for minions to hold their positions afterwards in a tight spot there.
Yeah, minions now gonna see if they can keep this ball rolling. Going back to the basement, it really looked like it shouldn't have been that round initially. They've played a very defensive style, as you pointed out, and there was no real roam at all, and it gave the attack a lot of time, but when it came down to things, minions' guns really just won them the round. But I don't think that's a strategy that they can really repeat. You're going to need a little bit more of a presence around the map, I think. Whereas Pulse, they're just going to catch on to the same old tricks. They're going to take that freedom, and they're going to potentially be a lot more aggressive on this attack. So I would like to see minions change things up. That being said, it looks like they're very content just sitting down that basement. So Pulse could potentially have a round win in their hands here if they just really make the most of the hand they've been given.
Absolutely, and we have to be sure about that. Also, Team Minis will make some adjustments from the first round. They won't play it in the same style as we see it. And also, the first is up in the bar. Nearly ping now. Beans with the intel. That way we have hoverboard on ping here. But no signs of going into the engagement of going into the bar or pushing hoverboard there at the moment. Now we have an intel that he is going back, jumping over poolside, back up in main bedroom.
There's just so much time being wasted again by just nothing. There is no opposition to these attackers whatsoever, but they're taking so long to really take ground. Finally, vertical is being worked through another separate floor, in fact, by that bug. We still see hoverboard getting a little bit aggressive on this mute. That is going to have to change very soon as the rest of the attackers really make their way towards main. Angle's held up. Mamet's going for a Hail Mary Nitro Cell here to just get a little bit of damage on the attack. Still, this attack, they could have done a lot more with this. Hoverboard Nitro Cell does miss as we're even seeing Lightseas begin to creep down those main stairs, I think. Alex Northy on this mirror, as well as Hoverboard as well, they're going to have to be very sort of aware here. This is going to be a hot point of contention, those main stairs, as well as this hatch. Finally, the attack really getting quite proactive, really doing a lot of damage to this site, but still, no bodies have fallen here for minions. They still have a good chance to really clutch this up.
And if you just look at the time and the setup, Pulse will have some struggles going down on this basement elevation because we still have both mirrors operating and up. We also have a shield down in the hallway that can be very much of a problem taker for the attackers because we have a bomb ready on its spot. Schnitzy's trying to get some flashbangs down from kitchen, flashes himself, and Benigno getting the first kill with a grenade, hunting down Hoover. Beans also down in basement, getting up the next one. Disbury is out. Disbury is getting Schnitzy. Beans getting prison. Zinio all against Disbury. Let's see, getting Alex. Now we have a 4-on-1 situation. Manimud starting with a clutch and fails against Beans. So we have another retake, 2 versus 2, and that's the standing after round 4.
Yeah,
I really don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm not.
I was criticizing the attack for being slow on that push there, but it did end up working out. They did actually just full on hit the basement with a minute remaining. That's a lot of time to formulate and execute there. So they have eventually sort of realized that the side of minions are being quite passive, but we see Muds locking in this Mozzie now, so that could suggest we're suddenly going to sort of explode into a much more loose roam hoverboard on that warden as well. And that's really the change you'd like to see from minions here, catching them off guard. You can't play the same hand 3 times. Eventually, Pulse are really just going to hone in on it, completely abuse the setup being employed by minions here. So I like this switch to more aggressive operators, to more fragging operators. It still ultimately relies on winning those gunfights, which can sometimes just be down to chance. But a gun like Mozzie's, that P10, can be incredibly proficient. Muds is having an alright match as well. 3 kills for him, better than some members of his team there. So he really could be paving the way to get another round win here. But Basement is supposed to sort of be that locked-in round. So losing that round 4 could potentially disrupt the flow of these remaining 2 sites here, as they once again going to have to try and tackle this. They've given away a round that they should have probably won. So now this half is very much sort of in contention. The attack potentially could get away with a 4-2 split here, which would be crucial for Pulse. It really shows like they've done their homework here, but they're going to have to deal with this change setup here. And from that fast push from the sledge, I'm not sure if they've caught onto this.
But the intel on Manimud is up and rising. He's trying to get back in construction, but will get sandwiched here in the situation. Opening from Buck on the top red side. And we see just Manny not really going for it. Pulling back. Bedroom and master bed. Lazzi also didn't commit very much more into that hill. Virginio just holding down the angle. And again we see the first entry is coming really fast. Then the intel driving is taking very much time, and it just stops right there. And Manny isn't been seen by this cam. But the second cam gets him. Luckily for Pulse in that situation. Lazzi down against Alex. Opening frag that way for minions.
I think that was a reverse vertical as well, just using that TCSG. Hooverboard does get another, and still, the sort of man of the hour Muds hasn't really found himself in a gunfight yet, as AJ just creeping around behind him. Benzino as well is on that top floor. Muds is completely cornered here, but that's okay. He can just keep wasting time. Less than half the round remaining, and there's still an active defender on that top floor. It completely prevents the attack from even attempting vertical, as Benzi's just going to give up, cut his losses, drop down to the bar. Unfortunately for Muds, though, AJ, I believe, is still hunting for this, still wants this pick. He's going to give it all, and he doesn't even get it. And Muds finally gets his pick, eventually down by that nade, but it doesn't matter. 5 versus 2 now, effectively 4v2, as the attack have so much ground left to cover here, as Hooverboard just walks up, gets another. That's Beans dead. It's all on the sledge of Benzino. It would have to be an ace clutch here, as Hooverboard's just charging up those main stairs. Benzino gets 1, but it's still a 1 versus 3.
It's a 1 versus 3, and you gotta look up the clock. We just have 44 seconds left, and that will be a big challenge and a big task going on here for Benzino. Especially when you look at where are the last operators standing. We are holding dead angles from the mirror windows, and also Alex ready with the TSG. Benzino rotating over to blue, where Prison is standing. Prison is ready for this interception. And he does look in this direction of Prison, and Prison gets this free kill picked up. And that way we have a re-pick up of the lead with 3-2 for Minions.
Yeah, Minions preventing what could have been a potentially bad situation there with a dominant round win. Almost flawless there, incredibly good roam, and it kind of begs the question, why not use that sooner? They've got such a mechanically skilled team there, and playing passive just doesn't seem to really fit them. But being said, they finally found their footing, and they're going back to Gym and Bedroom. A wide roam is what I'd really like to see from Minions, as it worked just wonders before. They don't want to give the attack a clean avenue in. You could potentially even place a defender somewhere like Garage initially, just to stop that early push, just to get a bit of damage down, make the attack really work for it. Because right now, whenever they've played passive, it hasn't looked particularly good for Minions, and it's given Pulse these little inlets to get these round wins. They want to look off a 4-2 half and have a dominant win here. They really need to just get aggressive, use those gunners to their maximum potential, because they are incredible. It's an incredible squad. Hooverboard particularly, just incredibly aggressive and confident player, and to see him off his leashes there is really going to do wonders for Minions, I think.
Absolutely, and we just saw Minions had to do some adjustments after the passive rounds didn't really function for them down in the basement elevation, and they have seen that when they pick up pace, you get someone in the wide roam doing stuff against their opponents, making them feel challenged in the early entry moments. It does take very much of the time. We have seen 2 rounds been taking it away from Pulse, just looking at how much time those roamers are picking up and just breaking down. And now we just see the first entry from Hoover taking down Beans, denying this first entry, and what an operator taking down Beans, taking down Asiana here.
And that's absolutely what we wanted to see. Hooverboard just getting on that wider roam there, getting that initial opening pick, really just doing the best with what he has there. It's really just nice seeing the leashes off from him. It's incredible. As this, still seeing more confidence. Disbury just peeking that breach through the wall there, trying to just get away with anything. Though seem to be very encouraged by the results of that previous match, as the rest of these members, Muds all the way down an oil pit challenging, eventually does get taken down by AJ, but still 4 versus 4, and an immediate response there from Prison, who's still just holding down Cash. He did it once before, and he's trying to make it a repeat here, just getting kill after kill here, wanting Schnitzy to come in, but trying to bait him through that hole where he's a little bit exposed. Schnitzy just get taken down by another player. That's Disbury. There's so much aggression coming out from Minions now. It's a far cry from that team in the first half of this match.
And you know, you see the aggression doesn't stop here. Lazzi against Hooverboard down in Garage. Hooverboard just really wants to pick up this kill. Oh, SMG 12 in hand. The sound come through. Prison taken down by Benzino. Taking it down to 2 against 3 in this situation. And will now get challenged through the wall by Hoover. Benzino picking up Disbury, equalizing it to 2 against 2. And now we really have to look and see if Minions doesn't get taken away by this. Really hold really need to hold their positions now, get their angles right, and be at the right spots at the right time.
Yeah, we're seeing a bit of that double-sided nature of the aggressive pushes here, as the minions have kind of given away a couple of picks there that they shouldn't have, just with being so confident swinging those angles, and Pulse are potentially back in this round. That being said, their hoverboard, he's learned a lot from his comrades' fall, so he's fully just backing away here, wants to protect his life, waste as much time as possible, potentially get a backstab, and with Alex Northey getting that other crucial kill on Benzi now, hoverboard really should just focus on staying alive, provide that phantom pressure almost, as Alex can just hold behind this mirror window. So much pressure being applied, and Alex, it's a dangerous gunfight, but he wins it out, taking out Lightsy and minions. Despite a couple of stumbles in that first half, they eventually get out of it with a 4-2 split, which puts them on a great pace going into their attack.
I really think that minions will be happy with the outcome of this first half of the map. They really had some stumbles, as you said, but they really got back on their feet, get their head straight, and just got into their style, their gameplay, and their strats. And the importance of Alex behind this mirror window was so crucial after they go from a 4 against 2 situation to a 2 against 2 equalized situation. Then Alex just hits up, is there for his teammates, picking up the first one and then neutralizing the second one after the push. That was really greatly done, but now the pressure is on because Poles are now in the most favorite side on this map, I think. And we really have to see if minions can take this away in the attacking rounds.
And I do think that was a great way to end the half of minions, because it's gotten them confident and it's gotten them aggressive, and those are the things you really need to win those attacking rounds. You can't be playing too passive on the attack. You can't be relying on the defenders to just offer themselves up to you. You have to be proactive. So minions are already on the right step going into this. They're going to be playing this fairly standard lineup, attacking the basement, using that Hibana obviously to deal with the hatches, Buck as well for self-destruction, and likely going to be using those hard breach charges as well, just as a sort of fallback in case something bad happens to Alex early on. Yeah, we'll see him bringing them. So it is going to be a standard basement defensive round here, as Pulse are opting to just go for this full defensive bunker. We're seeing Benzi just creeping on those main stairs, potentially just hunting for those early drones, just to deal a little bit of a blow to this attacking economy. There is a setup on that top floor to potentially bait the side of minions there, but I'm not sure if they're going to fall for it.
Me neither, but you see from the lineup, or also the layout done and built up here by Pulse, the lineup between those two teams are looking very much probably the same out there, I would say. And I kind of don't understand why we have a 5-man full stack situation down in the basement, especially with this ward, and could be potentially making so much damage behind those flanks.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Minions really pushing down here from the main, says Iana with her gadget, getting some utility done, getting up utility for this warden. At the same time we get the floor kicking up front of kitchen.
Yeah, and Beans, to my knowledge, hasn't been droned here, so he could potentially burn a bit of utility. The Thatcher still has those 2 EMPs, so if minions want to be safe, they can just double EMP, fry any kind of Kaid Claw there, and get rid of that Moto hatch. But I'm not sure if they're going to suspect it. That being said, Prison has one thrown out, another one in hand just thrown there, so they are just going to play super safe. Don't want to waste any utility there, and you can't really blame them. These gadgets matter so much, as Disbury, he's completely torn up the floor here in kitchen from the looks of it. The hatch open as well, holding that long angle onto tunnel, and AJ just appears to be completely trapped there. He can't risk leaving, or else he will open himself up to potentially be shot through that angle, and he's also aware of that. He just wants to try and waste time there, not give away a free fight, as Lighty looks away just the wrong time. The drop comes out, he does get damage and actually takes out Disbury, but Hooverboard's already in and he's taking names.
Oh, and Prison picking up Lazzi. Hoover on triple kill Lazzi. Also taken down by Prison, and Hoover picks up his quad kill, picking up AJ from tunnel here. And that was a very aggressive execution here for Minions in the second. We saw them picking up their pace, pulling up the floor, ripping up every single aim and angle they could possibly find, and then the most likely moment where no one does expect it, Hoover drops in and gets into action. What a nice round and execute by Minions.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a gamble for Minions because they didn't touch that top floor. They just went in with the assumption that it would be a full sort of bunker hold there, and it did pay out. But the important thing is they can't just keep gambling like that. Eventually, they are going to have to check these roaming areas to see if there is any defender there, or else it could really come back to bite them. So, from Pulse here, the question is, do you double down or do you actually go for a roam here? It's really up to the mind games how you expect Minions to sort of react from this. Minions appear to be bringing a very similar lineup here. For going that book, although they might just not have seen that it's a basement play yet, we could be seeing that attacker repick come into play. I would imagine so with the ace. He doesn't really find a lot of value down here. There's not much he can do with those hatches, and although he can be useful at opening up that church wall, it is going to be remaining soft from the looks of things, just comboing with that mirror window. So ace really isn't going to find much value here. I would expect to see Disbury change, but as the clock runs down, it seems like he's just sticking it. So that could be a very interesting thing here, that foregoing potential vertical control, and to me that suggests something like a rush.
Yes, it does, and it looks that way. But we have to be patient and see, because we also have we have a full stack sided team pulls down in basement ready for action, clocking in. And again, we have a full left side in the second floor and first floor. Virginia now getting up in the center stairs, getting already some damage inputted into himself. Uwe Many clearing that second floor completely. Just look at this drone work, look at this info work, roaming through second elevation, getting a drone down onto bar and kitchen.
It's a very interesting sort of take for the attack here. They're relying solely on those soft breach charges, which is very risky, as the basement is known to sort of be one of those sites where you bring a lot of those nitro cells. Two in the pockets of the defenders, one already used by Benzino. I think he's trying to activate, I'm not sure where. Schnitzy does let one rip, but doesn't actually hit anything. He's right beneath that soft breach. He can still try and fish for kills here with that Vector. High rate of fire, could potentially shoot between those floor beams, but he just doesn't quite hit his shot still. The attack, all 5 left standing, a bit of damage exchanged either way, but it really looks like things are just going to explode when it gets to execute. Hatches being broken there by Blue as Muds is actually pushed all the way down Oil, just holding an angle into Armory there with that Yana. The Schnitzy gets lower, but he does actually take out Hoverboard, so that could be a critical kill. The Ash going down 11 and 6 as well. The primary gunner for Minions taken down here as Beans. He's really got a lot to do here, just holding down the back of sight, seemingly on his own.
Seemingly on its own, and now we also have Alex committing down from the center, just trying to open this mirror window. Gets the knife from the Mew. Lazio tries to commit in and getting some shots down with his shotgun. Nearly he falls back down on his feet, nearly getting injured. And Manny Mud coming from behind, getting shooted on. Benzino getting prison. Manny possibly good angle to get more damage done and gets picked up at Lazio. Double kill.
Go for a triple here, just sitting in this blue position. Beans holding the window but can't really do much. Benzino though is picking up the slack, takes on Alex Nordi, and it's all up on Mud and Disbury. They're very far separated on completely different floors. Mud really just seems like he's biding his time, just fighting off the inevitable as Beans has his position on block. Benzino too, it's all up to the ace here. Where is he going to push? He appears to just prep down into Mud, who wins his gunfight actually as Mud springs to life, gets one, but Disbury so low, and Beans with that intel on Mud, taking a lot of fire here as AJ's creeping around to those main stairs. Beans still behind this mirror window. A plant has to get stuck, and in fact Disbury gets taken down. It's all on Mud, but that 2 versus 1 that just simply isn't possible, and the defenders of Pulse win out on time.
Winning out on time. The ace was trying to reach his position to get on a plant, but as we see, the intel wasn't quite there to recently get on top of the rotation done from Vamai. Vamai getting the snack upon this ace, trying to get a plant done. Prison trying trying to do anything in his powers to distract the opponents, getting their eyes on Blue. That try fails, and that way we have a Pulse going through with the time. Very good executed, very defensively, I think this round was, because of the only reason we had one operator trying to get some damage done from the centers, but surely very quickly just disappeared back down again. We had 3 Nitro Self didn't very much find any damage with those. That's very much most unlikely because we have so much modern floor, we have so many entries that we have seen that round, and it is very mostly unlikely that this was realistic, that none of those kills were made by enemy explosions.
Yeah, especially because the attack were relying on those soft breach charges, so they have to be fully vulnerable to an explosive damage there. Still, the defense make it work anyway as they're going up to gym and bedroom here, prison immediately, just shooting out those defaults, hoverboard as well, making his way towards the building. They're going to likely go for an entry towards server here. It might potentially be soft if it's hard. Doesn't really matter though, it is soft, so that does give the attack already a bit of a bonus compared to Pulse's attacking efforts. They don't have to worry about hard breaching that at all as hoverboard just marches his way in. He's taken cash already, potentially just trying to find a little bit of a pixel angle behind that mirror window, just baiting Schnitzy into taking the gunfight, but quite rightly, the mirror just chooses to sit and observe. There is no need for him to take that. Hoverboard still has his position heavily hindered here as the thermite charge, though, could provide a bit of a problem. Very slim angle opened up, and the mirror window will have to be vacated. That's Muds just clearing out that angle as minions already, in under a minute, have cleared out this entire half of the map.
Nearly got some control over the key positions of this net. Schnitzy really trying to do anything in his powers to hold down this angle from Logistic. But now gets drawn out by Manny. Gets to pull back. AJ taken up by Hoover. Hoover also taking Beans. Gets pulled out by himself by Lati. Lati picking up the next one.
Too many guns focused on these defenders, and it's not a flawless round, but it was a very clean attempt there from minions, just completely dissecting that defense, and that pushes them onto this map point there.
Absolutely, I really don't know what I am supposed to say, because this one was beginning so aggressively. Yeah. We had the entrance of Hoover marching his way right from the breach into cash, nearly trying to pick up Schnitzy in the first seconds, and then everything just dropped down. The pace was going down. They're trying to getting some intel down from minions. Intel is getting done. Then the flank hits up from Lazzi, and then just from there, everything just went apeshit crazy, and everything just happened so hectically, so fast that we just really didn't get any eyes of what happened.
It seemed really like it all just spiraled out of control the moment that Ash got through the soft wall. There was no need for a thermite there. A thermite would have at least A, caused a little bit of a slower approach, and B, would have meant that Prison would get to that single wall a little bit later. So all these kind of small things adding up and allowing minions to just very quickly take map control there, be very aggressive. This time the mirror window being put on the left side with footholds being put in that wall, so that's potentially designed to just hinder that thermite. It means you can't sort of get away with using that very large explosion to deal with that wall. It's going to have to be on other things like an ace per se, or just straight up punching the window. So it's an interesting little counter strat developed there. I'm not sure how much use it's going to get. The big thing though, that CC wall is reinforced, so that's immediately going to limit the sort of the swiftness of Hoverboard's entry. Oh, as will this Mute player just staying around here, I believe. Mute or Beans on that Frost are going to likely be just taking up roost on that red stairs, the shield being put down as well. Really a much more invested roam from the side of Pulsar.
A very much more invested roam, and we just also see the commitment where we are trying to stronghold the positions have really much changed, because now we have 3 guys hitting up the backside of the other half of this top elevation from workshop on till service, but we have a straight pullback again. I don't really see why, because there hasn't really been an entry. The breach is open, yada yada, from service, but no entry done. Why are we pulling back so fast when we look at pulls here? Really, again, just leaving the spot, just handing over this half side of the map to win it straight away.
You still have one roamer, I think, just playing red stairs, but he could easily be overwhelmed. My best guess is that Jacuzzi breach might have just scared Pulse, really caught them off guard, and required more reinforcements, as AJ is going to try and put himself with his team on the right foot forward, just getting very aggressive in server. He has 2 external angles to watch here as Disbury just opts to get out of there. There's clearly attention that's needed elsewhere, potentially looking at the Jacuzzi pushes. these two roamers are now quite securely in this cache and top red position, as we see 3 attackers just sort of clustering around this Jacuzzi breach, as well as an Ash just on that gym window. So we're really looking like a west side push here, and they're going to have to deal with Schnitzy on that mirror window. Ace charge goes out, just deal with it as Disbury. He doesn't quite know where the mirror's gone. He's just going in fully aggressive, but he is exposed here. But he somehow managed to slink all the way into Jim, completely unnoticed. Benzino, though, good flip. Takes him out immediately. He's traded, but not before Schnitzy can get that last laugh. Schnitzy does get taken down by Alex Norby, just running in through the breach. Alex Norby, though, on cameras, can be seen as Muds just holding that stairs position. The attackers still have a chance, 2 versus 3, but they're going into this just 180 crossfire here. There's so little chance they get away with this, as we see. I believe that's Alex Norby just crawling in, trying to make the most of his angles. Doesn't work, though. Lightsy takes him down on a 1 versus 3 in the hands of Muds.
Manny has Lazzi down. Also picks up AJ, 1 against 1. What a big situation here picked up, and only now it's Beans against Manny. Manny for this first map. Beans for the denial of this first match point on Clubhouse. Both could really make themselves a name for their teams. Manny trying to get to the defuse. Beans committing in. Diffuser planted. Manny in the pole position here. And Manny picks up the kill! What a clutch by Manny here. Picking up this 3 against 1 clutch with a plant. What a round.
Yeah, heroic display from the Yana there just to end it out. He's had a great map already, and he ends it in incredible fashion. 1 versus 3 with some incredible shots hit there. But it's all on Hooverboard, really. That's thoroughly just got minions through this. An incredibly proficient fragger just in that first map alone. Does absolute wonders. Double-digit kill count, not even by that final round. So very good play from minions there. Good response, good adaptations, and well, we'll be back just a minute to see if they can continue that momentum, keep the ball rolling as we head into Theme Park.
Yeah, I really just have to say that Hoover made himself absolutely a name. The push that we saw, the angles that he gained, the angles that he really used against the pulls here were absolutely stunning. But we don't have to forget what our dear friend just did here. He went 2 digits in the last round. What a clutch situation here. 3 against 1 with the plant. That's some balls shown here by minions. Taking this round with 7-3, and very much deserved.
Absolutely. We'll be back in just a minute just to get to that second map. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back, and in case you missed it, Minions won their first map of Clubhouse, Team Pulse's pick, and we've got a little bit of time before map 2 gets in, so we're just going to sort of fill in on what we may have missed entering that first map. We were on a bit of a time crunch just going into it, so we do have a couple graphics to show. We've got a playoffs graphic going into this just to sort of give you an idea of the overall picture of the league that we can just put up on screen now, showing who's sort of done well in this stage and who really hasn't. Penta, MDF, after very strong group stage runs, do end at 3-1. Going down to that 3-0 even, going into that 3-1 bracket, you then have Cook, E-Wave, and Misclick. And Project 100 already have gotten their way through in that 3-2 bracket there. So there's only 2 spots remaining, and things are really getting tenser.
They're really getting tense, and we have the next matchup already begun. Minions already taken their first map, as already called. Now we are searching for Pulse's recovery and also their answer for this first map, because if Pulse does lose this next map on Theme Park, they will drop down to Odessa with a 2-3, and Minions will get up to Project 100, getting it going through with a 3-2.
It's all or nothing, and I guess to just give us a bit more context around this, we do have some nice little graphics made by one of our production team, Exia, just giving us a little bit more information. So here we see Team Pulse, best map being Chalet, worst Oregon, and worst map being Oregon is something you do tend to see a lot with these teams just due to the play time. I think it is calculated based on number of losses or percentage-wise. And when you do play a map so much, usually you will tend to sort of struggle a bit as the sample size gets bigger. That best map being Chalet, I'm not sure if that really can help them going into Theme Park. They're two completely different beasts almost. Theme Park, much larger, much more sort of just bigger floor plan. The way it's structured into that sort of half split really could prove sort of difficult for Pulse here.
The only main thing that maybe Pulse can draw back to Theme Park from Chalet and also maybe from Oregon are we have many good spots where we have wooden floors, so you can properly play very good vertical gameplay from beneath to above and the other way around. But as you told, Theme Park is from the structure and the build-up from the map is completely different from Chalet. We have so much more angles to deal with, so much more takes or point where you can enter the building from, and the map and the size is just enormous against Chalet. So there will probably be some very big problems for Pulse there if they want to try to get their heads from Chalet over to Theme Park, but it is possible. It is possible.
Yeah, it's certainly doable as now we hop over to Minions, the side that already, in case you missed it, is 1-0 in this series, winning that map of Clubhouse and Way. It's their best map. Who'd have thought it? A bit of a questionable choice maybe from Pulse, picking Minions' best map there. They potentially thought they had the counter strat, but really, here's the part where I'm scratching my head. Worst map being Theme Park, and Minions picked it. So we could potentially be seeing the sort of comeback of the century for Minions. They've learned their mistakes from their previous Theme Park matches, and they're really desperate to prove that they have this map in their arsenal. But also, we could see Pulse certainly take this to a map 3 seeing this.
Absolutely. And as you already said, my head is itching as well because I did expect a lot from Minions, but I just want to draw it a little bit away and say the wild cockiness of Minions picking their worst map in a crucial matchup like this in a best of 3. If you lose this best of 3, you're completely out of the tournament. And that move you just got to bring on to the table. And I'm very much, I don't know how to say it, but I'm very much happy to see what this will bring us from Team Minions.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see if they can really sort of convert this into a win, if they have learned from their mistakes. And we're going to see right now as we're heading into Theme Park now, potentially the final map of the series, potentially the final map of Pulse's entire ESA Season 6 run here. But there is always that possibility they could make this comeback, get it to that map 3. That this is, as we were just talking about, a weaker map for Minions. So Pulse, they're very much still in the running here.
They are there, and they have their best trial to do so right now. Minions on their worst map after stats. Pulse with the back against the wall have to get an answer straight on to this map. Surely they will get every single finger out to do so. With the first ban knocking down, we are taking out the Jackal. Jackal pulled out just to make the roamers work a little bit more easy, just denying that they're going to get hunted down at the very first entry. Jackal, I would say more likely off the banner, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, specifically for those big maps like Bank, like Theme Park, there's just so many areas to hide, and Jackal can really kind of invalidate that, so banning him out gives your roamers a lot more safety, and Ying being taken off the board as well is really going to force those attackers to be a little bit more proactive with their pushes, have a little bit more time when it comes to the execute. They don't have the sort of almost what can be almost like a free win button of just spamming Candelas into sight, swarming a couple of defenders and taking ground. They're going to have to be a lot more smart with their utility usage now that Ying is taken off the board.
Especially when you just think of the angles that you can gain with those Candelas thrown into like spots like Cafe, so you can get very many wild angles that could be very crucial to pull plays against defending sites. With then Soul is taken out, denying the early the ability or utility denial, and then Azami as on the first map. I don't really think we have to say much. The Keeper Bears are a real pain in the ass for the attackers, especially when you know which angles you can pull off with those barriers.
Yeah, and it's reflected in those ban stats. Azami being banned an incredibly large amount of time. Solace as well. I guess the main big takeaways from these bans are Nook has managed to sneak her way through, so there's going to be another set of nades for the attack if they choose to use that operator. And Valkyrie and Fenrir as the defend. There's just not enough defender bans really in this game. Valkyrie is once again sort of sweeping in through. I don't believe we saw her last map, but Theme Park, so big, so many places to hide those cameras, could potentially find a lot of value from that operator. As with Fenrir, he saw a brief appearance from Clubhouse, I believe. So still powerful defenders in the pockets of that defensive side if they choose to use them.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're going into the first round. We are in Throne Room and Armory. I would say the most likely first pulled spot on this map. Very strong sided map. We have 3 big breaches, 3 double breaches that are the main reasons that we are looking for. We will have to see which side the team will go for. Minis have the opportunity to go from barrel-sided maintenance or from the yellow side. The most teams, after my opinion, go from 2 sides of those, but the most reconnant side is from the yellow side because you get so many good angles over the stairs. You can hold back so good positions. You can hold down and aim down the planting operator in your team. So maybe this is the way we're going to see minions build up their executive, but I really don't know yet.
Yeah, Spawn Peak being tempted by AJ there, but he sees nothing on the cameras. Disbury, though, is going to be very proactive, just jumping in immediately as AJ actually gets that opener onto the sledge, potentially another Spawn Peak there, as Disbury is already hot in the action in this break room. The LMG potentially out of ammo, swapping to the SMG-11, trying to play these angles, get an early pick, at least trade himself out, but they can't even achieve that. 5 versus 3 now in favor of Team Pulse. AJ eventually gets traded out by Muds on that Yana, a very strong player in that previous map. Already starting off on a good foot here, and a nade as well evens out the player count as Schnitzy's taken down, and Minions, they're suddenly in a very good spot here. Fighting chance, 3 versus 3. They've really turned this around incredibly early on.
And it was so important. They really, right from the beginning, from their head on start, they lost 2 operators. And this retake with the grenade and that fact was very much important. And Lazzi getting back the advantage, knocking down Hoover. Hoover with his Ash, a really very much crucial operator, managed getting the triple kill, but gets traded out by Benzo. And now we have Beans and Lazzi against Alex.
Yeah, Alex could definitely get away with taking site here. The hatch is open, so he's going to have to take that fight, but Lightsy was only on one side, can only cover one half of that corridor. Alex, though, not aware of all these facts. The only thing he realizes is there is a Mozzie above who can cause a nuisance, so he will be pushing up these yellow stairs. AK in hand, doesn't quite see him at first, eventually knows he's there, just pushing forward, because what else can he do? Just trying to find this kill as he seems to have completely lost the Mozzie. Running with Beans there, does survive, and now site control is actually his. A plant could be attempted. The door is open to Dragon, though, so there are a lot of potential avenues these remaining 2 defenders can come down. A drop will be heard by Alex if attempted, but they're actually going to give it up. They're going for the retake, splitting up as well. 2 1v1s are potentially given to Alex here, as Lightsy and Beans on completely opposite sides of the site, holding their angles there. They have to make a move. They have to make a play. If Alex can get one of these, things become very, very winnable. Damage taken by Beans, but Alex as well, so low, does take down the Mozzie, but traded out by the Nitro Cell, and a successful retake comes in from Pulse, giving them the first round.
What I executed, I just for a second just wondered what is Beans and Lightsy doing there, because splitting up in a crucial situation like this with Alex on the plant on the side could also go terribly wrong sided. But in this case, it went well. Lightsy secured this pickup against Alex with his C4 and then gets Beans on the defuse. So this round taken by Pulse. So 1-up for Team Pulse.
Yep, a good start for the defense there, and that's really what you want to see. As you were talking about, it's the most picked defensive side. It has the highest win rate, that Throne Armory. You really can't afford to be losing rounds this early on, as you are already in this sort of greater disadvantage, 1 map down. So Pulse just getting off on the right foot immediately. They've dealt with the sort of strange curveballs that Minions threw, like that Amaru play, just going straight into break. And they've dealt with it in a very good way. 2 versus 1 retake there is really going to sort of improve moods for the Pulse camp, I'd imagine.
Absolutely, and we would just have to take a look at of the build-up. We have to see what Pulse is thinking here. They're thinking do a full take of Initiation, expanding their spot, extending where they want to play with. Also, Break gets completely knocked down by Beans here. Kistling in those windows, opening Initiation. No, pulling back up the wall, completely locking down Initiation. Yellow Stiff also completely closed into Cafe. Nothing else more done for the operators. I think we will just see a standard. We have the mirror on side with their windows, with her windows. Beans making all the windows closed up with the castle, and that's more likely the most standard way to build up this spot. Also, we see here the 4-man wall against from Cafe. The middle walls completely reinforced with the left and right side opened. And now we have Prison taking up the pace, knocking down and taking out AJ.
Yeah, Prison cooking a nade from below as well, just trying to aim for these sort of these commonly placed spots. There's obviously no drone actually on that position. Just going for a guess there. Ace Charge goes out and immediately opens up a hole in Break, and that's potentially caused Lightyear's life. Yes, it does. Schnitzy gets the response onto the Ace of Hoverboard, but the damage is done. The advantage remains for Minions here as Disbury gets a beautiful kill using that drone, opening up the doorway. Mud's just trying to fish for another nade kill here. Doesn't quite land the first one. Schnitzy doesn't even deal damage with the second. The Schnitzy does get that down. Doesn't quite manage to finish it off as Disbury just takes the initiative. Jumps in, gets one, gets two. As Minions respond with an incredibly quick, incredibly dominant attacking round.
Very dominant, very quick executed. We just saw they got their drones right. They got their intel right. And then just committed into the scene. Punched up the wall in Cafe. Got their intel from beneath, from lower arcade, pushed up the stairs, and just got their damage done. Schnitzy also tried his very best to hold that angle down from the lower arcade with the stairs, but then just got pulled right up from the Dokkaebi coming in from Cafe. And there was very many distractions here by Team Pulse, so none of them really, after my opinion, was on their position, didn't very much hold the angles that was supposed to be held, and that way it was the most easiest way for the push set down by Minions.
Yeah, very strong attack from Minions. The aggression particularly, it was all very coordinated. There was not one sort of single point of entry. They were always just going from various points. As you said, it just spread Pulse so thin that they can't really deal with it. A reattempt will be made here, but with a similar sort of setup, albeit there's no castle this time exchanged for that Fenrir. Fenrir could potentially be the tool they need, but I'm just not convinced here, personally. I think they really need to just get a little bit more active in the row almost. Just don't give any ground at all, particularly down below, because that's where they were really getting those opening picks with that sledge.
Absolutely, and that's... We really just have to see Prison again goes on, coming in from beneath in storage. And as the main part, as we talked about, we have so much wooden floor on this map. So the advantage taken here by Prison is absolutely understandable. Getting his nades vertically done from beneath, trying to maybe hunt down those mirror windows is a very crucial point to also take away good angles for the defenders to hold down angles into Cafe or into upper arcade.
Yep, no pressure from the defense down below again, so they've given the attack a very clear inlet into the building already. AJ just shooting those drones that come buzzing at him as Muds is going to attempt another nade kill, but he does have to be very aware if the defender's actually on these rafters. He was caught out once before, going to be playing in a little bit more safer position this time, and nearly takes out AJ, who's forced towards that window, does get finished off because of the adverse effect of his position. A ping goes out onto another player on those rafters, and the nade swiftly follows Muds, getting a lot of value from this utility, and it immediately forces these defenders to get a lot more proactive. Benzino now has to give away his position to just try and respond to the attack. Schnitzy does get a trade, but not before Muds has taken down another hoverboard there, I believe. One of those G36s. Schnitzy once again forced in these very uncomfortable positions. There's nowhere for him to really go here. It's just gunfights in all angles. He does get taken down, leaving a 1 versus 4 for Benzino. He can try his best to get one, but Prison is just all too good on the trade there, and Minions 2 dominant rounds in a row now.
2 very dominant rounds where we just saw the same way of the attacking build up. We had again the take from beneath from Prison, trying to pull off the most standard vertical nades, and then we just saw coming up from yellow, coming up from lower arcade, making pressure on the defenders, also trying to come from various angles. Just don't let them wait and let them pull off a position play against you in the attack side. Just make the push, commit into the scenes, and that way Poles just looked very much overwhelmed in those situations. Really don't know what they are supposed to do with themselves to hold back and hold against this. They're likely a very aggressive minions lineup.
Yeah, I just think Pulse really need to identify where these minions attackers are actually getting in and provide a bit of resistance sort of at those points. They've let these two attackers of Prison and Muds get down below twice now when defending above. This time, I imagine it's going to be a lot more difficult, and they will be going for an actual vertical assault, so we need to be seeing defenders really just focusing upstairs, try and make the attackers work to step a foot in the building, because they've shown that once they just get into the building, they can immediately provide a lot of impact with those nades, with that gunfire. And Pulse just haven't really demonstrated an ability to really deal with that. Sure, once they can get that opening pick on something like an Amaru running or just randomly grappling in, they immediately get off on the advantage. They can win that round. But when there is actually a fight that has to be had, it becomes a lot more difficult for Pulse to find that early round impact.
Just look above this opening way and the build-up from Team Pulse here, holding it completely wide and playing with the second floor. Latzi playing from other side. Also take from Initiation to control with the mirror window and maybe also hold back into break and bunk. We also have the second mirror window holding down the angle into Cafe. And meanwhile, Hoover knocked down, taken down already by Latzi, by the pistol. Opening frag that way, 14 pulls. It really is about this top floor control. You have to clean this top floor, then maybe play from above and then rotate around. Now we have the maintenance breach open. I think the breach is open, and maybe now we will have to wait and see if minions will take a play and try to open up a second angle. That will be so much important to take this spot.
A lot of utility invested opening that wall, but at the very least, Prison does get one. Lightsy getting very aggressive, but full white flash there is going to need the support of his teammates, or else he's certainly risking taken down here. He does, oddly enough, survive, but not for long. Muds takes him down, keeps that man advantage in favor of minions, as they're really starting to begin this push already. AJ spotted, but quickly darts away. Alex Nordy as well, just really wanting to get this push down early. The big key feature of this site is the ceiling around that throne is completely hard. We will have to challenge this horizontally in Prison. It's trying to make this very difficult for the defender to actually get around. Beans drops down. They're actually at split. Prison doesn't realize, but a very good turnaround takes him down. Alex Nordy sticks that plant, gets the final kill, and what looked to be another very dire situation for minions, they just turn around in a snap of their fingers, get 2 quick kills, and get another round on the board.
Yeah, as you said, the complete floor overthrown is hard. You can't play any type of way from vertical there, and then you have to play it horizontally. The main advantage for minions was maybe, I think, after what we saw, they didn't play after a second angle or a second breach open. They just committed into throne, pulled out every single one that was around throne, had the intel that we had 2 or maybe 3 operators in the top floor elevation, committed into the side, going for the plant on throne, holding back the angles, and then they just had to wait till the drops came from Pulse. And what Prison did there, with just looking away a second, the commitment against from Pulse came, and Prison just surely smacks him, turns around at the right moment, and then in the effect of the moment gets that kill done and picks up that way. Another round for minions here, now leading with 3-1.
Yeah, it was a fantastic shot from Prison, and again, I thought, he's misread it, he doesn't know where the defender's coming from, he just slaps around, takes him out. A different approach being employed by minions, however, this time, using that Monty instead of the hard breach, now changed to the Amaru, so there's going to be no primary hard breach. I don't even believe any of these operators can get those secondary charges. Maybe, armorer, I'm not quite sure, but still, very much suggests we're gonna have an early push here, potentially even something like a rush, because they just don't really have the utility to deal with it. Even with those 2 hard breach charges, you can't make a big enough hole to really sort of negotiate for picks between into sight. And it's going to be very hard to get in, so it really is going to rely, I think, on Hoverboard just charging through here on that Ash, immediately hidden by the Capcan and the Grim, just slaughtered by Lightsy, and that early aggression seemingly immediately shut down.
Immediately shut down, and that's the way we saw the build-up from Pulse. Now also going with the trap operators, with Capcan here, and also this Fenrir, and it worked perfectly well, picking out and drawing out Hoover in the very first second of this round. It is so important to just pull a break on those minions, guys, especially in the round that looks from the lineup, looks like a quick push, but minions doesn't make themselves distract. Alex picking up two very important kills here. No, again with the advantage for minions, and it goes too quick after my opinions. We have a good stuff on Pulse. Pulse also back here with Beans, knocking down and equalizing in the frags.
Yeah, it seems like these teams are very evenly matched. We often see rounds going towards 3v3, 2v2. Aside from these past few minions attacks onto that top floor, it has been a very even match, but now we can see they're continually just getting the better of these gunfights. Prison taking down Beans, Muds still holding angles towards this split door as Alex Northey takes out that hatch. Not a particularly sort of vital breach there, but still just helps in dealing with any aggressive defenders. And Lightsy is really going to have to make a play here. If he can deal with this player on the split doorway, he suddenly gives his team a much bigger chance of winning this. AJ instead goes up for the swing, but does get traded by Alex Norley. 2 versus 1 now, but they can't charge in wildly. They're going to have to get this information down, and Prison, with a quick peek, identifies Lightsy's position, takes him down, and minions, they get 4 on their attack. They're looking almost unstoppable on this side.
Yeah, they're looking unstoppable, but at the same time and the same effect, we also have to be very critical with Pulse here. Looking at AJ picking up the first kill, then being a little bit wanting too much, roaming out, peeking out off into the hallway, getting knocked down by the Amaro there from Alex. Alex standing in the right perfect second in the right moment at the perfect time, pulls that one, and then we have a perfect situation with Prison just peeking in over the throne. Maybe there was a sound call on throne, or maybe also a ping from earlier. Swings in, looks, gets his side, pulls another swing, gets the kill done, and it very much looks like the minions are on their spot. They're on their right mindset, ready to take off on their very worst map. And it is very impressive how the playstyle is going at the moment.
Yeah, Beans seemingly just throwing all logic to the wall, picking that Cav, just trying to get that opening pick, really, because it seems almost like these rounds are won based on those that first minute, that first opening engagement. If Beans can maybe get an uncontested opening pick, Pulse can walk away with 2 rounds and a half. It's a 5-1 with minions going onto their theme park defense. Really spells trouble for Pulse here. They are just throwing everything here at the wall to see if it fits. Bringing the Echo as well for that late planter now, just trying to potentially get any kind of win condition they can. But again, I'm just not sure if it's really going to amount to anything. Once again, it seems like most of their efforts are focused on this top floor, aside from Beans just in maintenance. And in these previous rounds, once Prison and Muds have gotten in on that ground floor, they've really just run amok. They've torn up the defense, and well, it's all on Beans here to stop that on this Cav with comparatively little firepower. He's got that silenced pistol, impact as well, but no attacker anywhere close to him. He's just entirely on his own here. There's no value that can be achieved from this operator at all, as now all the minions seemingly are just attacking this top floor.
Absolutely, and we just have to see Beans, as you said, the one and only main roamer in this lineup for this round, and he really has to pick up at least one interrogation, I think, to really get Pulse back into their ways for this map. Because right at the moment, as we look into it, the build-up from Pulse is very standard, and every single team, especially a team like Minions, would perfectly know how to play against this one. But Benjen Zindio get the first pickup against Prison, and that one is important. One set of grenades pulled out of the round, especially on a spot where we have so much wooden floor that you can play against, and also a spot where nearly can get those mirror windows out with a set of grenades, it's very crucial that this finds a way. And Schnitzy picking up the next one. Alex also downed. And interrogation comes.
Oh, it's
AJ
all
picking up the
going wrong
next.
for Minions here. As you said, AJ gets that one on the echo of all operators on the other side of the map. Disbury completely alone in this 1 versus 5. Gonna try and make it not a flawless round and get at least one. But he's just being attacked from all angles here. Machine pistol in hand. Really going to have to try his best to just get one kill here as the defensive suddenly realized it's smarter to just play a lot more laid back. Lightsy taking down a fair bit of health but still gets that kill. Flawless round sends Team Pulse into that second half, but still it might not be enough. 4-2 secured by Minions as they go on to what many people would agree is the easier side.
It is absolutely the easy side, and also from the stats on. But I really have to say, and after I criticized the way the Pulse is playing themselves, building up their forces, and also positioning themselves, wasn't most likely how you would expect it. And now this round showed the complete opposite. They got their kills done, they got their intel, they got the very much needed interrogation by Beans, and then you just saw a 5v1 situation. None of them cocky, none of them running out trying to pull the last kill and making this round go past like this. Just holding back, keeping cool, holding the angles, quick peeking like you saw from Lightsy and picking up that last kill. But none of them really hard pushed that last operator. Just hold their angles, held every single window that was possibly, or door that was a possible entry, and that's how you get rounds like this done.
Yeah, Minions now going to see if they can keep this momentum rolling on their defense, going down to this Armory Throne site, which is statistically the most favored for the defense. Certainly, many would agree is the strongest site here. We're seeing Muds on what's kind of become his signature thorn here, just that 1.5 scope on the defense. Really allows him to take these gunfights at medium range and still have a fighting chance against the attackers. Disbury on the Grim as well, could go not the Grim, oh, Fenrir. That's the one. Fenrir just throwing out those mines could potentially scarper players like Beans who want to maybe get in the map very quick. The gas dispensed is going to really slow down the efforts of the attack here. And Hoverboard on that Warden. He's not found the scoreboard so far really very much. Only 2 kills on him. But that MPX, that 1.5 scope, could surely be a recipe for disaster for the Team Pulse if he's gone unchecked here.
Especially when you see Hoover was trying to pull off an outrun here, maybe doing a spompy. If he potentially got H, that would be a very crucial pickup here against Peoples, because we are downstairs, we are in Armory and Throne, and we really got 3 breaches here that are possibly to open. And if you don't have Thermite and Ace, it could be very much dangerous to not pull those off. And Beans here picking up many, opening this round for Pulse in a positive way.
Yeah, opening pick going the way of Pulse, and it's untraded, which is the big thing here. We've seen these untraded picks really determine the overall outcome of the round, so it's up to Minions to get a little bit aggressive, make a play, even up this man count, because we've seen when they don't, they just tend to lose, and Beans doubles down on that advantage. Eventually, Schnitzy taken down, and Beans partly blinded by this gadget, taking a lot of fire here, but remains alive as Benzino gets another. Beans gets another as well. It's all on Alex Norby, the mute. 1 versus 4, already leaving the site, trying to catch the attackers off guard, but is unfortunately immediately thrown. Goes for a wild swing, gets one on the Benzi, and can maybe retreat back to relative safety, but the site already overrun by the attack, and Alex Norby taken completely off guard. Fantastic round from Beans there. Gets the first and the last kill for Pulse. Starts them off on a great foot on their attack.
Another good pulled off attack seen here on Theme Park. Well, this one and the very important one was from Pulse here. After we saw a very, very much good indicated and also very much dedicated push here by Beans, roaming around from beneath, going into storage, roaming up through lower arcade onto upper arcade, pulling off the first kills, and then just moving slowly but safely through the spots, through the rooms, and cooking up slowly the pace, and then getting up the second, third, and also the final and fourth quad kill there. As you just saw, the roam was good, executed by Minions, but the roam denial from Beans was just a little bit better. And also the right moment was found to just push on the spot, hold the position from the spot, and then out to Dragon, where we knew from intel and knowledge after the kill was picked up there from Alex that he will come from that side. And that's a very much easy way to hold that spot, and also the type of way that you are supposed to win it.
Yeah, Hoverboard, he's going to attempt that spawn peek again. Didn't find anything last time. Once again, on the cameras, just seeing if there's any attackers he could maybe catch off guard. The destroyed cam certainly suggests that, and I believe he's going to go for an NPX in hand, but he doesn't quite find the attacker. They were just too fast for him. Door re-barricaded up, so nothing really to the detriment of the defense here, other than potentially revealing Hoverboard's position, but he'll quickly rotate away anyway. Pulse narrowly avoid that, but still, all 5 men still on the board. Perfect HP on both sides, so a slight risk from Hoverboard there that doesn't amount to much, as Pulse are already focusing on entering the building. Minions appear to have almost made the same mistakes, allowing these quick attackers to get in, relatively uncontested. Beans, though, taken down by Hoverboard. Great start for Minions here. Thoroughly just stalling that momentum as Hoverboard gets away with his life, almost taken down in Cafe, but he's got support now. Disbury swings out, gets the down. They can't be too eager yet to confirm the kill, as AJ is outside and still making their lives miserable on the Thermite, but he gets blown up. The kill is confirmed as Hoverboard is now doing wonders on this defense.
Yeah, and Hoover is just really trying to get his head into the game, and now gets picked up by Snitsy, denying that next kill, the potential triple kill there. And now we have the advantage sided for Minions. Benzinho picking up Prison, equalizing the situation, and now we're all about the recover on side. We see both defenders here for Minions back on side, and now we have 1 minute and 90 seconds. A lot of time, and after my opinion, enough time to scavenge around, get the intel done, and then plan a strike plan for this spot.
Without a doubt, if Pulse can isolate one of these picks onto the defense, their job becomes incredibly simple there, as they can just play the numbers game. The camera does get shot out by Benzinho, so the position is known of the Ash Fenrir gadget being released as well, just giving a little bit more intel to the defenders that the attacker is still upstairs, still just crawling through all these defenses. The hatch will get opened by Benzinho, though. Not sure if it'll be used, as he seems to be more focused on those yellow stairs. Still, drone work being used now. They have plenty of time to still just locate these defenders. Another Ash charge goes out to destroy whatever is behind that door, just being very sure to deal with any utility that could potentially bite them in the back. Alex Norley answers the phone calls. That gives the attack an opportunity to drop down this split hole, but both of them die to Muds' Thorn gadget there. Critical misplay from Team Pulse there, just really throwing what was a very winnable situation. 2 players die to a single Thorn there. They could get that pick. Things were very winnable, but fortunately for Minions, the utility pays dividends.
Absolutely, and after, like we said, they had 90 seconds. 90 seconds, guys. Just a half of the round. They were 2 against 2. Drones still available. They drone down after the hatch was open. The utility was drawn in where Thorn is, where Manny was standing behind the furnace. And then you just oversee that Thorn trap. Then you go for the drop in. You dedicate your strike against Manny to go then for the plant. And that crucial step look, blind look, and overseeing that Thorn trap just steals that maybe, or I would just want to say, a safe round on your board, and turns it from an equalizing 4-4 to another lead, bigger pickup from Minions with a 5-2-3 standing.
Yep, 2 rounds left for Minions to send Pulse out of the tournament and confirm themselves for the finals here, and they're still on this defense, so this is very much doable. We're going to be seeing the second floor defense once again. Disbury continuing to stay on that Fenrir, just placing out those mines both for intel and to potentially help his other defenders win these gunfights. Bud sticking on that Thorn as well. Those gadgets don't often find a lot of value, but last round we saw they were the difference maker. The gun as well is incredibly good with that 1.5 scope. Alex sticking this mirror, just a very useful gadget, very consistently good gadget. Placing that on the walls, locking down certain angles, as the attacker really going to have to fight through a lot of utility here. Reinforcements on break as well, with Hoverboard still going for this run out seemingly every round, just to add a little bit more tension for the attack, keep them on their toes, keep them worrying about where they could be shot from next. And all that just compounds in the attack having relatively little time to formulate these executes. Mirror window gets placed down on the top yellow position just to hold these angles down even further. really the attack are just in for a world of hurt if they can't deal with this utility, and Beans' Twitch might be the answer to that.
Absolutely, but this mirror window on yellow is so much a worry point for me when I look at the stats and the strats and how many teams are failing that position, because you have so many possible angles there. You can get a grenade thrown against you, and that is also a problem that Alex must face right there. It is a very crucial position that you can hold back into office and also cash, but it is a very big spot that can cost you dearly if there sits a grenade right on top of your face.
Yeah, still comparatively little action happening aside from Hooverboard's untimely death there on the Warden. Prison still being given free reign in waiting as Alex Noldi eventually evens out the man count here. A lot of control for the defensive side from Cafe, but still, the attack are going to have to ball themselves through the doorway. Prison doesn't quite notice the drop to Kaibi there, but still, nothing really amounted for the attack there. AJ manages to get himself deeper into Cafe, but still no picks gained as Alex Noldi, I believe, just crawls his way through that rotate hole. Suddenly, things get a lot more difficult for the attack. There's so much space for the defense to work around, so many crossfires that can be established here. AJ nearly gets one, slight sight on the head there, but still, nothing can really be made of it. No picks for the attack as Prison still holding this sharp angle with support from Office as well. Lightsy has to get very aggressive, but 2 bodies fall for Pulse. Eventually a response from AJ, but he just can't win them all. Disbury gets the final one, and Minions once again get themselves to map point, this time match point on top of that.
Yeah, my dear colleague, just very quick and easy. What was the main cause of destruction for Pulse here? It is a very big factor.
Map control, surely. They just all pushed in Cafe.
Yes, they did. And you saw the build-up was so done for Cafe. Every single angle. The rotation from the left side of the 4x wall into bunks on daycare. The right side with the headline into Cafe. Completely locked down for Cafe. Also, we had nearly a next one operator holding the angles from upper arcade to the window and also into Cafe. We had one in from the box. And you're playing it from the angle that Minions wants you to play from. And it is just easy like that. You go into Cafe and it stops there. You have no way to get out of there. You have no type of way to get further out, push into the opponents, because you're standing right in front of their doors. And just the thinking way of losing that round, because you really want to try with all the cause and commitment to push this Cafe spot, it's just barely stupid in my opinion. Because also the drop from Dokeabi from blindly from the hedge, trying to get some type of surprising moment, just went terribly wrong. We're getting surprised herself from the opponent rotating back from waiting area, and that's just a round given away really for Minions.
Yeah, and I think the best way to sort of say how, show how detrimental that was, you compare that to when Minions attack this site. There's aggression from all angles. They really take the advantage of the chaos caused by what in isolation might seem like a bit of a silly play, like an ace repelling into break room, but they use that chaos to just get a load of map control, and suddenly you have Minions players nading from below, fighting through Cafe, fighting through that arcade window as well. We're just not seeing that same kind of activity from Pulse here. Again, just very sort of almost passive attacks. The drill work still good as it was last match. We're seeing Pulse just clear out these positions very quickly, but still comparatively little action early on as there's a lot of just almost nothing happening here. You really need to be very proactive on Theme Park because it's such a large map with such a large just number of things to clear, really. And when all you're doing is droning from above, and the only player inside the building is droning themselves, that's Schnitzy on the Yana, you really need to be just making more use of this. Why is Schnitzy not being droned in by a teammate? Why is he not going further towards the site, making the most of that intel? Because this intel on the Warden, sure, it's good here, but immediately outdated. There's no one to capitalize on it. The book wasn't even at the door waiting. He could still be gifted with a freebie here because Hooverboard really outstays his welcome, but he just gets the kill anyway. 4 versus 5 now, as Minions could block it out right here.
Yeah, and it just continues right where we stopped last round. Team Pulse absolutely rich on intel, but very seriously poor on execution, and that's the way we'll go for this round as well. Beans not picking up the kill this spree, knocking down his own teammate, knocking down Hoover, and Beans has a most impossible mission here. The first drop comes, and then the drop from Alex. Beans knocked down, and that way, Minions take this round. And I really don't want to say much more about this than that Pulse has made their own lose very well.
Yep. Minions, they win it out in fairly swift fashion. It's over really just as quickly as it began there. They seem to completely outclass the side of Pulse there, and well, that's led to Minions. They're through to the finals now. They're the 7th team, I believe, going towards that bracket. We're very nearly done with the playoffs. Just one more best of 3, I believe, and that'll be there tomorrow. So I guess there's nothing more to say than I've been Pooble. I've been joined by the wonderful Mighty Ryujin here. You can see our little Twitter ads here below in case you want to key into any of our ramblings online. But I'll be seeing you tomorrow. I'm sure I'll be seeing you some point in the finals, Ryujin. But goodbye. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching, my guys.